What's up, gang? Kawaii50 here with another Fate video, and I'm doing something where people are gonna be mad at me no matter what I do. Why am I doing this again? That's right, because people will want to watch it. So today, we are doing a dangerous thing. We are going to be ranking all of the Fate protagonists that I am familiar with. So we are going to rank these protagonists. We are going to put them in order of how great they are or how absolutely crappy they are, no matter what. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to go ahead, like, and subscribe. And if you're going to yell at me in the comments, just know that if I didn't make you angry, it was going to be somebody else. Okay, let's go ahead and let's get started. So the first character I'm going to grab is going to be Aris. And why are we grabbing Aris first? Aris is from Fate Requiem. And honestly, I quite like the sort of dynamic that she brings into the world. Like the world of Fate Requiem, the way it's set up, with the servants living alongside every single person being a master. That is super cool. And the little extra layer she adds on top of that is very interesting. So that alone gets her points. I do quite enjoy her personality, as you're going to learn a lot more about her when the Fate Requiem event ends up launching on NA on FGO later this year. But honestly, as far as we got potential for protagonists to go, I mean, there are some others that just clearly outrank her, especially in Fate. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slot Aris over in the B tier. And she is going to go ahead and be our nice solid baseline. Next up, let's go ahead and let's place the manga-only character, Kanada Akagi from Fate Type Redline. Type Redline is a fantastic manga. If you are a fan of Nobu or Okita, I definitely recommend that you go ahead and check it out. But as far as Kanada goes himself, and from what I've read so far, he hasn't really impressed me that much outside of your standard isekai protagonist. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's got the good isekai chops on him. I do quite enjoy that. But people like, you know, Naofumi from Rising of the Shield Hero, even Subaru from ReZero and all that, I just find them in general more compelling isekai protagonists. Rimuru, of course, being the absolute GOAT. So Kanada, I'm going to go ahead and chuck in the C tier, and I'm sure somebody has already hated me for this early C tier placement. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and snag Bizet from Fate Hollow Ataraxia, which, of course, there's a lot of Bizet hype right now, considering she's finally gotten a servant in Fate Grand Order. And Bizet actually deserves it. She straight up deserves it. Her relationship with Ku that ends up getting explored through additional material, plus her overall relationship with Angramenu, I quite love Bizet. It goes without saying that had Bizet been allowed to participate in the original Fuyuki Grail War, she would have easily swept it, no questions asked. So really, even just on coolness factor alone, I'm going to go ahead and chuck Bizet over in the A tier. Next up on the list is Ayaka, and we're going to be going off of a Fate Strange fake Ayaka, not necessarily Fate prototype. You might know her in other Fate material as Person A. I do quite enjoy the little ghost story legend that they end up building around her. I think that is absolutely super neat. And she does have a very good reputation with one of the Sabers in Strange Fake as well. I quite like their character interactions there. Forgive me if I'm being abridged. I'm not trying to let this go on for a super duper long time with each of these characters. Give them each a little bit of time. So Ayaka, I'm struggling here between B and A. You know what, just for the sake of, she's a solid character, and solid usually means B, so we will chuck Ayaka over in the B tier. Next on our list is Carrie Tugu, and I mean, man has quite the reputation, considering a lot of people really enjoy Fate Zero as peak. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I am indeed one of those people. Freaking love Fate Zero, recommend it to people whenever I freaking can, and have no qualms about saying watch Fate Zero before you watch Unlimited Blade Works. Stay mad, I don't care. However, Carrie Tugu in and of himself, the man is basically Wizard Batman, and I do quite enjoy the application of Wizard Batman. I enjoy the lengths that he is willing to go in order to accomplish his objective. And I do quite like, in a world where we've seen wizards, you know, usually go and play by the rules, having an assassin work behind the scenes is absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, the man could have chucked his way into goated status had he actually interacted with Saber. Had the man actually had decent interactions with Saber, I really feel like they would have got along and everything would have been all super hunky-dory, and we could have gotten some great character interactions from that. But for the honestly excellent backstory and for the moments of badassness we see from Carrie fighting the priest in the Batman hangar, I'm gonna go ahead and chuck Carrie down in the A tier. Next up, we got Waver, of course. El Malloy case files, we are going to consider Fate, no matter what your protestations are. Waver is interesting. I did quite like Waver in Fate Zero, and he still remains a great character, even going into El Malloy case files and showing up as an ancillary character in other Fate works. However, I really feel like Waver shines more as a sort of Obi-Wan Kenobi style character. He shines a lot more as a mentor, some who has experienced a Holy Grail war in the past and has gone forward to impart that information on whoever the protagonist or main focus characters end up being. See Flat in Fate Strange Fake. That is some magnificent Waver that you get through that ancillary bit. I quite like seeing him at the end of, you know, other Fate series as well. I won't spoil too much, but I really think Waver shines more as a sort of mentor figure rather than a particular protagonist. So we're going to go ahead and chuck the Waver in the B tier. He is serviceable enough, but there are better protagonists out there. Next up is Prisma Ilia, and I know some people are going to have issues with Prisma Ilia. Yes, there are things Prisma Ilia does that are questionable, but honestly, I'm going to be frank. If you watch the Oath Under Snow movie, someone's going to hit me for that, whatever. If you go and read into the manga and all that, Ilia actually sees a lot of really awesome character development in Prisma Ilia, and she actually really ends up shining as a character on his own. There are moments where you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be cheering. It is actually very refreshing to see Ilia move beyond just a punching bag or a connection to the past like she is in some other Fate works. So despite the fact that some people are probably going to be salty at me for this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chuck Ilia in the A tier. Prisma Ilia gets an A. With Fate Extra coming out, let's of course talk about Hakuno and Hakunan, and we're going to start with Hakuno in and of himself. Now, I normally would have chucked Hakuno a little higher. However, there's some things that ended up souring me on his character, and that mainly comes from Fate Extella. And some of this bleeds over into Hakunan, but with Hakuno, we'll start from there. I did not like in Fate Extella the Umbral Star. He gets a lot better in Fate Extella Link, but I did not like how basically every single route of the story in that game was just Hakuno's internal dialogue about how perfect whatever waifu he was currently with was. Really did not enjoy that, really soured me on a lot of the story of the game. Hakuno does get better characterization in Extella Link, so that in general helped bump him up a little bit from where he would have been before. But honestly, he's just... I like the Moon Cell connection. The Moon Cell connection helps bump him up as well. I quite like that idea of a character being able to just remake the world in their image, sort of try to make it just so people can be happy. Hakuno's rough. You know, I'm going to chuck Hakuno in the B tier. And as for Hakunan, solely because Hakunan has really, really interesting, enjoyable interactions with both Nameless as well as Gilgamesh in CCC, Hakunan is going to pop up in the A tier. I'm still going to play Hakuno when Fate Extra Record comes out, just because, you know, you gotta have your own self-insert for when you're running the Tamamo route. But if we're just looking at them from a character perspective, Hakunan, A tier, Hakuno, B tier. Next comes Oath Under Snow Shiro. Oath Under Snow Shiro, incredible. I quite love him. However, there are some things holding him back. I do quite love a lot of his development in Fate Prisma Ilia. It is very, very good. His fight with Angelica with the Gilgamesh class card installed is absolutely wonderful. And I do like the sort of heroic spirit hunter we sort of see when Sakura meets her unfortunate fate. Please watch Prisma Ilia to see that unfortunate fate. However, a lot of the potential in Shiro as a character, I feel like ends up getting overshadowed by Ilia in this series. But oh my god, if they are not continually competing for the spotlight in Prisma Ilia. I've even seen jokes where people are like, man, Ilia got shafted in this chapter in her own series just because of how good Shiro is in this. So we're going to chuck Oath Under Snow Shiro over in the A tier. Now you'll see I have 2 chapters left here. We have Goat and we have Y. And Goat and Y, we're just going to go ahead and address those now. I wanted to say them to the end. Going in the Y tier is easily Sieg, and now a lot of people are going to be salty on this, but Sieg, I have issues with Sieg. I have myriad issues with Sieg. I did not find him a very compelling protagonist. I felt like rather than give us a homunculus who has trouble understanding humans and human emotions, they could have just gone ahead and thrown in somebody outside the Holy Grail War into Apocrypha. I do feel like Sieg actively made every scene that he showed up in worse for it, and I legitimately did not enjoy the fact that I did not enjoy the fight against Karna. I did not enjoy the ass pulls. I feel like Sieg should have been immediately obliterated in that fight, even with support for Astolfo. The man just got access to infinite hacks, and I feel like that was more because the author did not want their character to die more than anything else. So Sieg is going to get firmly chucked into the Y tier. I know he gets better in Inheritance of Glory, but as a protagonist, I don't like Sieg. I don't like Sieg, and that in general has not changed. Now, of course, that leads us to the GOAT, and you all know who the GOAT is. The GOAT is easily Emiya Shiro. Emiya Shiro is absolute peak protagonist. I don't care what anybody has to say. No matter what route you end up going through, whether you go through Fate, whether you go through Unlimited Blade Works, whether you go through Heaven's Feel, this man just develops into the absolute Chad. Pretty much every single fight he has shown up in, he absolutely shines. All of those fights are incredible. Unlimited Blade Works is an incredible noble phantasm. His relationship with Archer, while crazy and timey-wimey, is a joy to see, and you get some of the most peak Fate moments out of Emiya Shiro. You get his fight against Gilgamesh. You get 9 Lives Blade Works, and you get pretty much everything that happens with him in Hollow Atraxia to boot. I feel like it's inarguable. Emiya Shiro is the absolute GOAT of the Fate franchise. Now, please, you've given us Muramasa, give us any other incarnation of Shiro. I will take it. So there you go. That is my definitive Fate protagonist tier list. Like, subscribe, etc. You can check out more videos in the thing after this. Thank you all for watching. I will not be taking any questions. This is absolutely how it stands forever in perpetuity. Great, cool, goodbye.